Welcome back now. Our next guest started out in a BAFTA-winning comedy duo alongside Alexander Armstrong, and since then has played a sidekick to a special agent, has even lived on the same road as Paddington Bear.
Imagine that. But now Ben Miller has swapped the big screen for the Big Bad Wolf in a retelling of the classic fairy tale. He's going to tell us all about it. Already I'm locked in, because the front cover, no grandmas were eaten in the making of this book, Ben. That's
very
good.
important. Yes, very important to make that clear from the beginning.
Congratulations.
Thank
Fantastic.
you.
An exciting time when you have a new book out of it.
I know, and to be here on World Book Day talking about it, it's fantastic. Because reading, as we all know, makes such a massive difference to children. And what I wanted to do with these stories was kind of retell fairy tales, retell some of my favourite fairy tales in a way that was a little bit unusual and hopefully would make kids laugh. So this is basically the story of Little Red Riding Hood, but told from the point of view of Lawrence, the big bad wolf, who's had a bit of a tough winter and he's been kicked out of the pack. So we feel a little bit sorry for him at the start, and even more sorry for him when Little Red Riding Hood keeps basically tricking him, sending him to the Wicked Witch, sending him to blow down the three little piggies' houses, which we all know is physically impossible. And, yeah, at the end, he ends up down a well and absolutely exhausted, dressing as Grandma at Grandma's house.
So if you wrote it in the form of, like, a diary?
As a diary, yeah, because I really love the diary form for kids this age, you know, sort of 8 to 12. It's basically a really great way of getting inside the head of a character really quickly. But also you get all those fabulous Adrian Mole-type jokes.
Yes.
Days when the wolf doesn't really want to write his diary because he's so upset about what happened the day before.
Where do we even start? Because we had some brilliant children's authors in earlier, and they started through illustrating. That was their inspiration. Where did you start with it?
So the whole thing started when I wanted to write a story for my kids. When I loved reading when I was a kid. My parents were English teachers. We had lots of brilliant books at home and a fantastic local library. And when my kids reached this sort of age, I'm a bit of a show-off, basically. And I thought, I would love to write a story where they're the main characters. You know, wouldn't they love me then?
Yes, yeah. I'd buy their love with this. Yeah.
Pathetic, really.
Yeah.
And I wrote a story where my oldest son was the main character in the book, and then I wrote a story for my son Harrison, and then for my daughter Lana. Then I ran out of children, and I ended up writing a story about my dog, and then I've now started making things up.
And the dog can't answer back,
no,
so it has to put up with it, yeah.
Or claim royalties.
Your children didn't go as any of your characters, though, did they?
I know, my
Today?
children. I keep saying, you know, why, you know, Lana, couldn't you go as yourself in the book? But no, she wanted to go. Oh, there she is. Look,
what
she
have they
wanted
got
to go as she's Frida Kahlo, the artist, the Mexican artist.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, which is,
very highbrow.
She really loves Frida Kahlo. She loves her, you know, I think they studied her at school, and she's got a Frida Kahlo book, so she was very keen to...
I said very highbrow there. I didn't realise there was a pun in that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, I know
2
you're
eyebrows.
welcome. Thank you very much.
One, just one eyebrow.
And is there any lessons that you like getting over in your children?
Well, yeah, I think being a parent, I love there to be something else in the story. You want the story to be as entertaining and as funny as you possibly can, but you want there to be a point, I think. And for me, the point of this story is 2, really. One is that, you know, Lawrence learns that, OK, he might not be have the strongest killer instinct of all the wolves, but that's fine. But also, it's encouraging kids to eat vegetables, because what Lawrence learns is he might not be able to hunt down Little Red Riding Hood, but he can have a nice vegetarian pie.
There you go. Yeah, which, let's be honest, is probably tastier. Let's be honest.
Yeah, better for him, probably.
Ben, it's World Book Day. This is when kids get the power, right? They dress up and they talk about all their favourite books. They also get to ask the questions. So we have a question for you.
Oh.
If you'd like to look at the screen, let's have a look at this.
OK.
Hi Ben, I'm Sadie. I love reading. How did you become an author?
What a brilliant question. Yes, we're writing that first book about my son. Jackson, and discovering. Do you know what this is the main thing? Is discovering that the most fun part of this job, of writing books for children, is then going to schools and meeting the kids who read the books. And once that part of the process happened, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to spend my time doing.
Good question, Sadie.
Yeah,
good
really
question.
good question.
Thanks, Sadie. Do you not realise, by the way, how impressive this man's lineage is? Abraham Lincoln, relative of yours? Honestly?
Yeah. Absolutely. On my father's side, so... Let me get this right. So my great-grandmother is Rose Lincoln.
Oh, yes.
It's uncanny.
There we go.
It is.
Look at the
uncanny.
nose.
I mean, forget the whole Kate Moss look-alike. Look at this situation.
I could open shopping centres as Abraham Lincoln. Yes, so it goes up the... So my great-grandmother, Rose Lincoln, that Lincoln side of my family goes up to Abraham Lincoln's great-grandfather, then comes down to Abraham Lincoln. So I'm not sure how that... You know, people say, oh, you know, 7 times removed. I don't quite... It's close.
Do you have the whole 4 score and you have that speech? No?
I probably could learn it for a different visit here, but no actor will ever say no. You ask an actor, you know, do you know that Abraham Lincoln speech? Yeah, of course. It's like, whenever they ask actors, can you ride a horse? They go, yes, which is why all actors you see in films are kind of rocking and rolling on the backs of the horses they ride.
Well, talking of actors, if this was made into a film, who would you get to play all the characters?
Oh, what a brilliant question. So, Lawrence the Big Bad, I think my dream cast, I think I'd have Hugh Grant as
Hugh Grant?
Lawrence the Big Bad Wolf. Yes, yeah. I think he'd be amazing. He's got the...
Oh.
There we go.
There we go.
What a graphics department, look at that.
What do you think, Hugh?
Ask him now.
That's actually genius casting.
I think,
with the kind of way he played the role in Paddington, similar kind of,
He was brilliant in
style.
Paddington, wasn't he? We discovered in Paddington that no one plays a villain better than Hugh Grant.
To be a part of Paddington, by the way, how was it? Because it's such a brilliant, brilliant movie, isn't it?
Such an incredible film, and it really stands the test of time. And I think, I don't know when you were watching the film, but the moment it really grabbed me was that pop-up sequence, that pop-up book where, you know, Paddington is talking to his grandma, and she's on the boat, and he walks through all, and the whole of London comes up in this pop-up book. It's really magical. Yeah. It's a really magical story, and I think it tells, again, like all good stories, it's a story about, you know, welcoming one another, isn't it, essentially?
Now, I got to tell everyone that I got to tell them that this is... You're promoting something, I can't remember what it is. Promo whatever you need to promo. The book, that's it. The book. The book.
Diary of a Big Bad Wolf.
They said he will kick off if you don't let him promo the thing he's here to promo.
It's out next week, but you can pre-order it online now. And, yeah, it's, I promise you, a very funny take on the story of Little Red Riding Hood and many other fairy tales.
I thought that was pretty slick, Ben.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. It's gorgeous. I love the book. I love the illustrations. And it's just great to hear you chat about it all. Thank you so much. Good luck with it all.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, can't wait to read it to Reg. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I'll sign him one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Oh, no.